tonight's edition of the Juice TV is a special one because it's live and we have an audience. Slightly. Clap for that. And we are at the all-new Hotel RL in downtown Baltimore, so shout out to them. Tonight's episode, we're going to have a men versus women discussion. So because there are so many stereotypes about men can do this and women can't do that and vice versa, what better way to just put men and women in a room together and let's just talk about it. So let me introduce the people that I have on my panel today. To my right, I have Tiffany. And then to my left, I have, I was going to call you Mr. Antoine, but Antoine from Baltimore Flavor Radio.
Hold us down, hold us down.
And of course, my audience, which I will get some participation from you guys and ask some questions. And if you want to jump in, give your 2 cents, you're all the more welcome to come up to the mic and let's discuss it. So we're going to jump right into it. As far as the dating part, I know some women will say, oh, I'm not dating a man with kids, or men will be like, if she got 6 kids, like, I'm not here for it. So how do you feel about dating someone with children? I'm going to start with you since you're single.
I don't have a problem with men with children as long as they can take care of them. I don't. As long as you can take care of them, I'm perfectly fine with that.
So obviously you're married, but prior to being married, how do you feel about dating with children?
I didn't have an issue with it. My wife had a child previously when we met. Her daughter was 3 years old at the time that we met. And the baby daddy, as y'all call it, wasn't in the picture for whatever reason.
Why you can't be like her father?
Okay, perfect. Because I'm the father.
All right. Okay, my bad.
Just because you know what I'm saying. No, but I don't have an issue with it because, like, the past is the past, and as long as there's an understanding between you and the mother, and it's funny that you bring this up because I saw this conversation on social media earlier this week, and it was like, there was a conversation about, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't social media, it was another show that basically asked, does the ex or the baby's daddy get to meet the new person and what kind of situation? And I don't know if that's something that you're going to get into, but just to answer your question, I don't have an issue with it. Dating a female that has a.
Would it have been like a specific number? Like if it was like 5 kids, you'd be like, I don't know. Like.
Yeah, that would probably make a difference.
What about you?
Same here. That would make a difference.
I'm not trying to have a Brady Bunch if I don't have a contribution to it.
If you have too many, more than likely you don't have time for too much else. That's my thoughts on it. There's nothing wrong with it. It is what it is. You're taking care of them, but
so
at the end of the
what's
day,
too many for you to?
Going in, okay, I have one. I would say going into a relationship with someone or dating, it's nothing wrong with dating. I would date, but as far as it getting deep, we have, I would say, too many, 4, 5.
I think that, my personal opinion, I think that it's a little bit different for men and women, and correct me if I'm wrong, I do not have kids, but I think that for women and men, when you're dating someone and like a guy's like, oh, I'm trying to go over shorty house, and she like, oh, my kids ain't sleep yet. Like, so women have to deal with that, whereas men, if you have 3 kids, you may not have all 3 kids at your home, so you can still date and have someone come over. But
well, for me personally, I think the gift changes however long you've been with the person. I could know you for 6 months, you have a birthday coming up, I might take you out to dinner, that's no problem. I wouldn't buy you a car, maybe, I wouldn't buy a car or a house, I wouldn't go that big, but I would just let it go with however long we've been
But
dating.
like, say for instance, you start dating somebody in like October,
Okay.
and Christmas coming up. Do you buy them a gift? Was it 2 cents?
No, I'll go get them a gift. Just a little something. Just a little,
What if they didn't get you one?
Well, when I give gifts, it's from the heart. If I get one bag, I get one bag. If I don't, I don't.
You don't hold no grudge.
But at the same
I
time,
would
I would give them a gift. And if I didn't get one bag, it's fine. But I know how to play it for the future. I wouldn't necessarily be like, well, you ain't getting your gift because you ain't getting me one. But yeah, I just know how to go about it.
Would you expect one? Like birthdays, Christmases, like say you just started dating like a month or two before. In your mind, like, are you expecting to get it, or it's like if they do, it's nice? But
if they do, if they nice, it is nice. If not,
but I think it also depends on the time frame. Because if it's
yeah,
like
a couple frames, yeah.
If I start dating you on Halloween and your birthday falls between Halloween and Thanksgiving, then
a card is nice.
Yes,
a card and maybe even dinner.
Right,
nice
but like
little,
no Tiffany bracelets
no, you're not getting
and
no
watches.
bracelet. You're not getting no red bins pulled up at the outside the hotel. Oh, my bad. It depends on how long it's taking those 3 dates. I mean, we can have 3 dates in 2 weeks.
That's true.
I might give you some edible arrangements or something at the job, but you're expecting like
At the job.
yeah, you're expecting a
So your
pancake
coworkers
bracelet.
see I like you like that, but that's something like
And it depends. Do you agree that it depends on where you see you and that person going?
I think it does.
Yeah.
Because if we're just dating, getting to know each other, and it's not heavy, you don't have to buy me a gift and do too much. We're just getting to know each other and being comfortable with one another. So, but if we're together, and even with me, Valentine's Day is just another day, so that's not a big deal. But things like birthdays, I would think you would, put a little thought into it. And, I wouldn't personally date any exes, period, of a friend. Because they don't I can't expect people to think the way that I think. I think you an ex, we tried it, it ain't work, you free to date who you want to date, personally. Let's define ex. Is an ex somebody that they slept with a few times? If that's the case, to me, that's not an ex. You just slept with them, it wasn't anything serious, but somebody else might look at that differently. So for me, just so I wouldn't cross any boundaries, I wouldn't. But for me, you my ex now, ex-husband, child's father, that might be a little different. Just somebody I dated, my ex, it didn't work, we tried it. Do you?
I could do that, depending on, so the ex-girlfriend of a friend of mine, it depends on how serious it was. I've had a friend of mine marry an ex of mine. So it just depends. I think it just depends. So it just depends.
Now, besides depending on
And I got them a gift. And I got them a gift, by the way.
You did get them a wedding gift. Shout
Yes,
out.
I did.
That's big of you. I wouldn't even win. But
He did me a favor.
but this is the other part of that I want to know. So you guys are saying that more so it depends on their relationship.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it also depend on the friendship of the person?
Exactly.
Like, is that like an associate, a homeboy, or like your best friend?
It
Like,
depends. So I had a major disagreement with somebody about this. So this was like his first girlfriend. And so years later, time has passed and she came around us and then she expressed an interest in me. So I felt uncomfortable. So I reached out to a mutual friend of ours and said, look, this is a situation, what should I do? And he said,
go ahead, get that.
no, he said, you should talk to him about it. I reached out to him, I said, this is a situation. He was like, go ahead, no, that's cool. He had moved on in his life, we started talking, we didn't work out. But he caught an instant attitude about it.
Did you think he would not?
I asked him, and he's the one that married the ex of mine. So I guess it's payback. Was it payback? I don't know.
Oh, it was after.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
If she was around for one of my relationships and then he slid in one day like, oh, I've been feeling you for some time, what's up, blah, blah, and then he hit it off, it's like, so we all supposed to go hang out and double date together? Like, that don't make sense. You like you really thinking, Antoine. What's up? Let's hear it.
I agree because like I have a circle of friends that I've probably known for the better part of like 25 years, and there's like an unwritten code that if there was like a serious relationship that if they break up, there's no crossing that line. But if it's like back in the day when we was in high school and that was just somebody that you was trying to knock off and then she wanted to smash the homie, then it is what it is. But at this point, there's like, you know, you have, because your friendships are on levels, you know what I'm saying? You have people that you associate with, you have people that you're cool with, and then you have people, and for me, the guys that I consider like my best friends are like family to me, like brothers. Like these are dudes that would take a bullet for me, I would take a bullet for them. So when they depart with their, you know, there's no, I mean, because they were practically like sisters, they were practically like family anyway, so I'm not gonna, you know, go behind. And then I'm looking at my dudes like, I'm not going behind you, because you know. Because then, yeah, exactly.
I think it's wrong. To me, I don't think I don't think it matters what the relationship is. I don't care how long you've been friends with the person. It's just, if I know you like that, I'm cool with you. I don't care if you're my best friend. Like same thing. My best friends are my family. Like they like my sisters. So I wouldn't even expect them to do that. But it's kind of like his situation, like Dom was saying, if it's somebody that you dated in high school and I wasn't even around and I might not have known and like, oh my bad, or like my level about how much I would be mad, but depending on if I was in a sexual relationship or if I was just dating, or if that was my husband, my ex-husband, like, no, I'm gonna beat you up. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I look at it like this. If we're just meeting and you ask me out, you should take care of it. If I see a nice gentleman that I want to take out, and I might see something I like, send him a drink. I'll ask him out and pay for both of us. I don't have a problem.
Hey, look at you.
But if you ask me and it's like, so yeah. It's kind of, it'll kind of broke me a little bit, like, go half, like, okay.
Would you say something? Would you go half or would you like, I know you, so I want to know.
I pay for both our meal and don't call them back.
Right.
Look, check this out, I'm gonna pay for yours too, cause you might be on hard times. I'm gonna help you out. Just pay it forward, bro. Next time I'm gonna do that. Pay it forward.
At what point during the dating process, for as far as a woman, you're so used to a guy want to take the lead, what part of the dating process would you offer to pay for the lead? Like if you're on a third date, like, oh, I got it, what you want that? Like, what part in the process would you pay for?
Just in general, I might feel like, okay, I haven't seen him in a week or two. We both been real busy. A nice movie coming out, or if I ask him to go and we go, now I might not tell him ahead of time, like, yeah, I got you. But when we there, if I ask you to go out with me to somewhere, I would do it. I would just pay just because I felt like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't really, if I'm feeling you, right, and well, first of all, let me start with this. If I'm not feeling you, I'm not even giving my time. So we ain't gonna be on 10 dates and we not vibing like that. It's only gonna be because we have a chemistry. So at that point, you have this chemistry. You done gave a little, I done gave a little, and I don't think about we paid last time, I paid last time. It just count. Yeah, I'm not really keeping tabs on it, so.
For me, yes. And only because, like, when people, it seems like when people, and hold my back on this, fellas, I'm gonna say especially women, when they go through like multiple relationships, multiple marriages, it's like, it's always the man's fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have 7 different relationships and 4 different marriages, and it's always something with the men. And at some point, we gotta say, like, when you gonna look in the mirror and start realizing that maybe, just maybe, after the 3rd marriage, that something might be wrong with you.
I always think a good question, if I come across someone that's been married multiple times, it's a red flag, but at the same time, I'm curious to know, what have you learned about yourself in these, not what did you do you, the person there who cheated on who, just what have you learned about yourself throughout all these marriages?
And that's exactly what I'm saying, because a lot of the times they haven't learned anything.
Right.
They don't, it's always what that other person has done.
Right.
They wasn't doing this, they wasn't doing that, but they don't sit back and take the time to say, well, what have I done that I failed 2, 3, 4 marriages, and I'm still, and I'm only 40 years old.
2, 3, 4, 5 times, it's like, okay, you must don't take yourself seriously, relationships seriously, and it'll be a red flag for me. I probably wouldn't even waste my time. But one time,
They got to you now, and it's like, oh, bingo. No.
but I would always feel like a divorce is coming. Because if you had 5 of them, I would feel like, okay, I might be number 6, I might feel like I'm the one at the time. But it's like, what's going to set him off? Because apparently he didn't take it serious before.
Like, I agree, sometimes people get married young and they can be able to stay.
Right.
Some people get drunk and go to Vegas and get married.
Yeah, we was in Vegas.
So that might be too under your belt, but if I feel like, like if you've been married a couple times and that lasts a year, or if you just had maybe 2 and one was like a 7-year marriage and like you had long term, maybe I'll think about it. Because some people may just grow apart. Something might happen, I don't know, but
I always hear the person out. I don't just get judged.
You don't judge.
I don't just judge. Oh, he's been married a bunch of times. I mean,
But you don't know what you're hearing is going to always be the truth either. So.
Yeah, that's true, but I'm at least hear you out this time.
Case searches, like
I would sign a prenup.
Would you ask for a prenup?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
That's honest though, I didn't expect
It
that.
depends on the woman.
Okay.
Certain women you can tell when you're dating if a prenup is necessary. If you got millions and millions of dollars, you really don't need a prenup. But let's say you're wealthy, but you don't have millions. Let's just say you're worth $700,000, or you got $700,000 in the bank. I don't care who you marry. You need a prenup because losing $700,000 or giving up half of it, it changes your lifestyle. If you got $100 million and you lose $50 million, it's still all right.
Struggle, but it's not a struggle.
It depends on how you live. But prenups can be necessary. And I would sign one, and depending on the woman, I would ask one.
Thank you. I didn't think of it that way, honestly. Like, that gave me a different perspective. Like, I didn't think about the money.
Aren't you glad you came up?
I don't think it depends on the woman with Charles. Charles would be like, you sign it.
No, that's not true.
Don't put me out there like that.
I know there are a couple women that I would not ask for a prenup.
Okay.
I would have this, whatever, because I wouldn't divorce them. But that's just.
So the way I'm kind of sort of taking this, correct me if I'm wrong, when y'all saying that it depends on the woman, it makes it seem like, oh, because I know if we get divorced, she's taking my money. So I'm asking, like, why are you dating her then?
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do.
If you know she that type of shit. I mean, sometimes, unfortunately, divorces can bring out the nasty in people, unfortunately. But I just feel like if in my mind I gotta think that I think you gonna take me for what I got.
I'm just not even gonna. I'm gonna
like,
be kind of
like I'm just kind of thinking like if you think in your mind, it depends on the woman. Why are you dating that woman?
Or dating, yeah, but
Okay, so
marriage.
marry that woman.
When somebody gets upset, you don't know how they're gonna react. I've dated women who, when they get upset, they have a scorched earth approach to this. To the situation.
Angela Bassett.
They're going exactly. Exactly. You gotta protect yourself from that. But that doesn't mean that when everything's good, y'all want to be together, that doesn't mean she's a bad woman. That doesn't mean she's a bad person to marry. It just means that you should not mess up. Protect yourself. And in that instance, you should sign a prenup.
All right then. Thank you, Charles.
My wife would have asked me for a prenup. I probably would have said sure, because half of nothing is nothing. So at that time,
Nothing together.
nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So
Baby, you got something I got.
you know, pledge yours and
Something
something.
on, baby. I know you
you
I got all the
stocks
stocks
in.
I didn't even have no 401k at that time, so, but that was almost 20 years ago, so it's a little different, right? My man right there agrees with me.
That prenup would say, in the event of divorce, I'm not going to take half of your debt. You're going to have to pay it.
You can make it say what you wanted to say, and yeah.
Prenup can say whatever it wants.
Yeah.
It's just at the point when you get in front of that judge, is the judge going to honor the prenup or not? You asked me a question previously. I am divorced. So I was worried. I had a lot of assets when I got divorced. I had a house, a couple cars, some cash, and my attorney reassured me. He said, because you're leveraged and you're not all asset, you don't have a whole bunch. You have debt. You're going to be all right, because if she wants the cash, she's got to take some of the debt.
I currently, I'm not into that child support thing yet, so I don't exactly know. But from what I hear, it's not fair. From what I hear, I think overall with child support, no woman should feel bad for asking for it. If the other half isn't, woman or man, it could be the man that's a single parent. Either way, you shouldn't feel bad for asking for it. That's, the other person took responsibility in making that little one, so you shouldn't feel bad.
The average Joe that makes $50,000, $60,000 a year, I feel like if you're bringing home, let's just say on average, $2,000, $3,000 a month, if your child support is taking 75% of it's crazy to me, because at the end of the day, you still have bills outside of that child support. So am I supposed to pay you child support but then be homeless and living in a shelter, or living in a one-bedroom studio and struggling? There has to be some kind of, and I don't know what part of the law handles that or can amend that, but I personally just know a lot of brothers who honestly want to be a part of their child's life, and the mother of the child is being bitter just because, we're not together anymore, so I'm going to take you downtown. And now, this brother might be bringing home $1,500 bi-weekly, and more than half of that is going to child support. So it's like, okay, if I'm bringing home $3,000 a month, and $2,000 of that is going to child support unfairly because I'm willing to take care of my child, then what am I supposed to do with this last $1,000 that you're leaving me? How in a city where an apartment can cost $700, $800, am I supposed to be in this apartment with no lights and no food? And you know what I'm saying? I think at some point, just the overall lifestyle of that person has to be taken into consideration, because they have to live, and then you have to consider the fact of why are we going through this child support? Because personally, for my wife and I, child support will be the last resort. You know what I'm saying? I've always told her that if, God forbid, me and you were to break up, you don't have to take me downtown, because I'm always going to be taking care of my children. Not only the child that I made, but the child that I accepted when I accepted you and we got married. So you don't have to take me downtown, because I'm always going to be there, whether it be financially or whether it be given time, I'm always going to be there. So you don't have to go through that process. But then you have the other side of that that's, I don't want to be bothered with you, so you're going to have to take me downtown if you want money. But at the same time, I still have to put gas in the car. I have to have a car. I have to have a roof over my head, and so on and so forth.
Say Tip live in a project, and Lil Wayne come in town. I'm sorry to say this is really ugly.
Yes,
Lil Wayne.
could have used a better.
Well, who do you like?
Idris Elba.
Oh, straight to the $10 million.
Idris Elba came in town, and Tip done got pregnant. Now,
Tiff shouldn't have slept with Idris on the first date. My bad.
she got pregnant. They've been hanging out. Okay. Now,
While he was filming The Wire, y'all.
yeah. So let's just say that paparazzi out when Idris is sneaking through Baltimore here and there to get up with somebody. People are familiar with who she is. So you think that he's not going to want, like, she needs to get out the projects with that Idris baby. Like, she can't live in the projects with that kid. Like, it's not gonna work.
It's a good question.
And I totally agree. But again, I'm going back to 15, 20, 25, $30,000 a month. We're not saying a year.
Right.
We're talking in a month. And we can go even lower than that. We can go on like the low end, like the $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month. Like, I just feel like at some point, the mother of that child doesn't need to use child support as the sole income. You know what I'm saying? You still need to get out there and work and do such and such and such and stuff. And whatever the amount that you get per month needs to go to the care of that child. That doesn't need to go to you going to Nordstrom's every month and, you know, you going to buy shoes and get your nails done and your hair done. And you definitely shouldn't be looking better than your child. You know what I'm saying? You gotta.
It's everyday people that do that. Welcome to the show. What's your name?
Hi, my name's Richard.
Hi, Richard.
Give it up for Richard, y'all.
How you doing? I just walked in and heard you discussing child support and, you know, both your views and things on it about the exorbitant amount that people have to pay per month and all that type of stuff. All I wanted to say was most people get the idea of child support twisted because the purpose for child support, and this is what I've heard, is that the child needs somewhere to live. You understand? So they formulate the amount that's to be paid off of the person's income. And as long as the man pays that amount, he's not responsible for clothes, food, or anything like that. But on the other hand, whatever the woman does with the money is not his business. She can go to Prada and buy bags or go get her nails done or get her hair done as long as she's providing shelter for that child. Because that's what his money goes to. You understand? Now, she don't have to live in a $2 million mansion and he's supporting her. But, you know, that's the purpose for child support. It's not, you know, you don't watch what she's doing with the money. If she gets a check from you and she goes out and buys a BMW, that's none of your business because she's providing shelter for the kid. But the purpose for child support is to ensure that the kid has a roof over his head. And as long as the mother's providing that, whatever she does with that money, that's her.
Just because I had on Gucci shoes, I work. It could have came out of my money. Doesn't mean I could have got it on sale. I could have went to the thrift store and got a Gucci pair of shoes for $25.
You be finding some sales too.
I know how to find them. So just because I have on labels and I don't look homeless, doesn't mean your money isn't being spent on the child. With the money I would get, your child is going to be taken care of, the bills are going to be paid, everything is, but don't think because, oh, she got her hair and nails done, that's where my money is going. No, I work too. Sometimes single mothers may work 2-3 jobs. Also, that's why I feel like 2 parents should be adult enough, regardless of the relationship, to be able to do that without the courts getting into it. We ain't got to be together, but if my child needs a coat and maybe I don't have enough money to cover it, hey, you know, I shouldn't have to take you to court to get basic things.
Yeah, well, all I was saying was that's the purpose for child support. That's why they set it up, and that's why they do it the way they do it, because they want to ensure the kid has a place to live. And like I said, if the father's a real man, above and beyond that, he will give his kid whatever he needs.
From the example that the young man gave, if I'm just supposed to cover your housing, then you got to justify to me what that other especially if you're not working. If you're working and you're earning your own and you're doing certain things, and that's fine. But if you're not working and I'm paying you a couple, whatever, X amount of dollars a month, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I just feel like it's almost like a straight up hustle to some people. And because of the law, the way that it is, if you're making this amount of money and this is the amount that we say that you have to pay percentage-wise, then it just becomes a bit crazy to me.
I don't agree with it. And I hear what you're saying, and I hear what you're saying, but because I know way too many, and personally Shout out to my mom and my aunt, y'all holding down. Like you said, single mothers are gonna do what they have to do for their children. Not to take away from men, because some men out here are some amazing single fathers. However, if it's just for housing, you have children who are in dance programs, who are in sports, who need to go to college, who still need things while they're in college.
That keeps them out of trouble.
It doesn't matter whether the child is 6 months, 6 years old, 16, or 18. I feel like at the end of the day, if it's all about housing, okay, so when your child go to college and you live on campus, housing's paid. So now your child support is going to help me fund your kid's education.
If you lead with that, hey baby, I can do this, okay, don't be surprised when I actually do those things. I might have my own money, but I'm gonna save it if you lead with, if you carry yourself as if you're leading with your money. You're not getting to know me as a person or whatever. So if you want a Chanel bag, like, yeah, I get you bags, purses, I give you the world. If you lead with that and you come across women who use you for that, you really can't blame them. But no, I don't think it's right to date somebody and pretend you love them or pretend you want to be with them because you know what they have. That's not right.
I agree. And it's funny that right as I asked that question, I'm gonna put your business out here, a conversation we had on air when Antoine was telling us a story about college and you played this girl over a microwave or something like that. So Antoine, like, you use somebody for financial gain back in the day.
Microwave?
I might be wrong. You get a
It wasn't just a microwave.
Clear it up, clear it up.
When you're in college,
The struggle
is real. I met someone that lived in the town of the college that I was living in.
What town was that?
Doesn't matter.
You might know.
We ended up dating, and for me, the struggle wasn't as bad as it was because she had a car, she had a good job, you know what I'm saying? So my dorm room ended up being like a small, nice little apartment because I took advantage of the fact that, but it wasn't, I didn't ask her for anything, and I think that that's the difference. I didn't ask her for a refrigerator and a microwave,
You knew what she
but
was
I didn't
doing.
say no when it was
Right.
offered. And it helped because I genuinely liked her.
Me on a personal situation, which I'm sure everybody, well not everybody, my close people know, when I first started dating my husband, everybody thought like, they called me a gold digger. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't meet at work. Like, I do got a job, like, so what you mean? But I think it's because of, I knew nothing of him. Don't know what he drive, what he made, whatever. But the fact that some other people speculated that, and then now we're hanging out, we're dating, and it's like, oh, you only with him because he got a nice car, because he did this and he knew
You saw
that.
Anthony pulling up in that Maybach every day.
No, but seriously, like, it used to really bother me until it was just like, okay, like I didn't care. And it's like, okay, if it's kind of like for me, like anybody that knows me knows I'm a very humble person. So I don't brag about what I have or what I buy or what my husband may do for me or so on and so forth. But let's just say I post a picture of, oh, my husband bought me a Chanel bag today. It's like, oh, you with him because he can do X, Y, Z for you. Or, oh, that's all the reason why y'all together. And it's kind of like you can't, people will always assume, but some people genuinely do date just because they're like, I do like him, but the minute that they leave with all that gift stuff, do you still like them as much? Is it genuine? Now, if it's a dating situation, like you just like out in the clubs on purpose trying to get a VIP to meet this celebrity here today or tomorrow, like, is something wrong with that for you as a woman? Do you think that that's wrong?
I think it comes with maturing. When you're young, you know, that might be a lot of, well, media and television, they pretty much glorify things like that. In a club and VIP and popping bottles. Me personally, you know how we would go out to a party and we would get invited in VIP and we ain't worried about no guys or nothing. We just did us and just our personalities. Hey, y'all come on over and That's just how we were. So our personalities got us in there. We never asked anybody for a drink or anything like that.
Out for the pay,
Yeah, I mean, we was just us, and that's what got us. But some people, they do that when they're young, they grow out of it and whatever. But these guys know they do everything for the women. They drive nice cars because they know it attracts women. They wear nice clothes because they know it. Some of them take a shower because they know they smell good.
That's all we have for today. So thank you two for being a part of the show. Thank you, audience, for being a part of the things, but we're not. So hopefully we'll probably be back next month with something else. And that's all.